Hi everyone, I want to say a huge thank you to the High Seas Alliance and the Minderoo Foundation for sponsoring this event and making it possible. So I'm here with Nicholai and he'll share a bit about his background and then we'll dive into why he thinks that the high seas matter.
Yeah, so thanks, Tanaka. It's a really wonderful event that the High Seas has come on board to put on, the first of its kind here in Trinidad and Tobago.
I realized, listen.
A bit about me. We actually met last year at the
Yes.
National Youth Convention where we were focusing on environmental sustainability. And we kept in connection and we were able to partner now to get boots on the ground and get this conference going. As a national youth advocate, I think it's impossible that we don't put ourselves into silos and focus on one specific issue. It's very important to focus on generational, intergenerational, I guess, conservation and planning for the future. So I'm really happy the event was a success by all standards.
Thank you so much.
And so glad to see a whole of society approach. We saw CSOs, we saw high-level government representation, we saw members from who are experts in their field coming, and we are privileged to have some of the best experts in their field, top of their fields.
Literally, and you know, in my remarks during the event, I mentioned the fact that Trinidad is uniquely positioned. It's literally one of the only Caribbean countries that possess the three important ingredients that are needed to for effective implementation of the BBNJ, and the first being just having experts in-house, right? While other Caribbean countries might have to rely on international advice, Trinidad has deep sea marine biologists here who actually serve as advisors for those international conversations that have been taking place. The other thing is that Trinidad has a government entity already dedicated to protecting, you know, ocean and marine affairs and all of that. So I think that's important. And then the third is when we take a look at the room that you pretty much played a key role, a very keen role in terms of sending out invitations, you know, and I really want to thank you for that as well. I think the fact that you've highlighted that, you know, it's one of the first of its kind and people are asking for many more of these events. I think the conversation that has been had, it's something that people really appreciate, because Trinidad, for the longest while, I mean, I don't want to be the one to say it, but, you know, these conversations have just been put on the back burner, essentially. So now it's the time, the momentum is building in the region where quite a lot of countries have already signed on to the High Seas Treaty. Jamaica, Barbados, Belize, Cuba, St. Lucia, Antigua and Barbuda, they've signed and ratified. And Trinidad, of course, will get to the minister's reflections in a minute, but we are positive that Trinidad will soon come on board. And how does that feel as a youth leader in Trinidad?
I mentioned this with Minister in his interview, that as a young person, a youth advocate, I am so pleased to have ministers of government making themselves available to come in person. And he mentioned, you know, today's Thursday cabinet day, they usually don't take engagements, but this was so important to him that he sought permission from the Honorable Prime Minister to be here, which shows a level of commitment that we may not have seen in prior governments. I think that to have a government minister who, you heard the passion in his voice when he spoke.
And he swims.
Yes,
he knows what we're talking about. He's not, you know.
And he holds the key responsibility. His ministry is tasked with looking over these treaties. His ministry is the one to sign on behalf of the government. To have him as an advocate at a cabinet level, that's just incredible. He spoke about his open door policy. He highlighted with us that he is keen on continuing the conversation, and he was just so pleased with the turnout, the event itself, and the fact that he wants to consult more with these organizations, national consultations.
Yeah.
So definitely, as a young person, I am very pleased. I am because it not just speaks about the commitment of this government. It also speaks about that they are willing to partner. They are willing to make themselves available to have these conversations in these spaces, and we hope. We are very hopeful that fruit comes out of our labors here today.
Yeah, so we're advocating for Trinidad to sign and ratify the agreement.
Yes.
Yay!